Those?
Yep, that's the one.
Just that one. What do you say, people of vlog world?
So we speak 30% and they speak 70%. You just ask questions.
Yes, there's human beings walking in.
I think this could be so much a leading centre in Australia in the next decade, in the next 20 years. In the long term, it could be a Silicon Valley, but for social enterprises as well.
Logo, swish, the he.
Yes, thank the Lord.
Expect all these original ones here.
Yeah, buddy.
Those?
Yep, that's the one.
Just that one, yeah.
So just screenshot it.
What do you say, people of vlog world?
There's an AI company called Gong.io based over in the States. You can kind of use this on the phone as well if you want while you when you speak. It's called Gong.io. Now they studied thousands and thousands of sales calls and face-to-face human interactions with recordings, and they surmised that the highest revenue generating sales staff would speak less than 50% of the time in an interaction, and it was closer to 30% overall. So we speak 30% and they speak 70%. You just ask questions, listen, acknowledge, transition. So we need to know what questions to ask. We need a structure. Basically, his synopsis was that if you're not utilising a script and having clear direction in what you're doing every single day, then you're missing a trick. Because you might be missing building rapport questions. You might be asking a confidential question before you've built rapport enough to ask that question, which can actually break the whole sale. Well, I think to answer the question you're about to ask, and me and Tracy just spoke about it over there, Tracy was a little bit apprehensive coming over here and being so direct with the Shark Tank, the 41%. And I said, it's not about what you're saying, it's obviously how you're saying and the elegance that you go about it. So in Sarah's situation there, well, I feel super fortunate to have the opportunity to work at an organisation that's had 3 of Australia's brightest minds invest in them. You might not even know who they are, but the guys off Shark Tank, do you even watch that? Do you even watch that? Do you watch that? Do you even watch that? Really subtle nuances in the language that we're using that show humility in the way that we deliver it. Now, I don't know if that means anything to you at all, but on the back of that, what our investors have asked us to do is reach out to as many business owners nationally as possible to see if we can help them. The reality is a lot of businesses are failing or struggling. That might be you, but for me to ascertain whether I can help you or not, I guess I'm going to need to ask you a couple of real quick questions, or I guess I'm going to need to understand your business a little bit better. So how long have you been going for? Yeah, nice. And what got you started? Because I know our founders, Ryan and Jack, they got frustrated with all the bully-like tactics of regurgitated 1980s sales training, and they broke away to prove that you don't need to sell in this way, and it can be done consultatively, that both consumer and consultant can feel comfortable in the sales process. But what about you? What got you started in removing earwax from people's ears? Like, why? I'll be honest, it's a random job choice.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, well, I had this issue, whatever it is, and then they open up, but it's now relative to what we do. And then it's such a balancing act, hey, like how do you go, oh, hold on, I've been on the phone for 10 minutes, have I been speaking for 3 minutes? Oh, I've only been speaking for 2 minutes. Now, that's why these AI CRM systems are great, because it will literally tell you how many minutes you've been talking for, which blows my mind. That's a whole new ball game. So yeah, just be very aware of that today. I think not going to be an issue for you with your knowledge and your experience. I'd say some of it would be a refresher, and some of it might be re-terminized, and then there'll be a few penny drops in there when you go, wow, I didn't realise I was getting that result because I did that. When you invest and you say, hey, I want to do this, it's open for 12 months. So that's all around the country. So we are doing them in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Gold Coast. That's too late anyway because you're already on the tour. So yeah, I understand. So we want to do it before. We want to get the team pumped before you actually go on tour. Okay, so alrighty. I like a challenge. I'm just going to give Christy a bit of praise.
How was she?
Really good, man. Yeah, really good. She's had 10 businesses. So if we can squeeze her in the diary, we'll go down to Sydney, we'll do the training, and she'll do one-on-one.
Amazing, thank you.
Good work, man.
Thank you.
The team are sounding amazing. A lot of consistency out there on the phones. Inbound inquiries, referrals. Had a couple of good testimonials come in. Just been a really good day, mate. And then, mate, it's just been all hands on deck. I've been pretty much here as much as possible this week. Jack's obviously away cruising around New Caledonia, I believe, as well, with apparently no phone signal. So just no contact, no communication, which is great. He needed that. He's been working his arse off, working his fingers to the bone. Certainly appreciating what he does when he's not around. It's like sometimes you don't know what you've got until it's gone. So looking forward to him getting back late tomorrow afternoon, and then we've got our seminar on Monday night at the Novotel, where we're interviewing 6 of the Gold Coast most successful entrepreneurs over the last decade. So finding out what they do well, their struggles, their hurdles, and what challenges they've sort of faced over the years, and hoping to give the crowd of about 150 people some little tidbits and advice and guidance on how they can start, grow, maybe automate, sell and exit their own businesses as well. Tonight, me and you, we're off to the launch event. I want to make sure I pronounce this right. So we're going to, it's an Australian technology company called Convo. Now, they're revolutionising e-commerce. So we've got a launch party where they're looking to raise, it's a Series A capital launch, and they're looking to raise 5 million. Is that million? And they're doing that through crowdfunding.com.au. After you. Everybody's asking about these plans today. I divide them in Leicester. The guy was 21 years old. He's got 4 businesses. One's creating holograms for theatre shows and for allowing businesses like ours to do seminars all around the world via hologram. One is a social media marketing agency. One is he takes old tyres and turns them into diesel fuel, and then on the back of that he's opening up his own service stations, and they're all still running concurrently. He's 21 years old. He was so inspiring, man. Let's do it.
Are you gonna stand there all day, guys?
Enjoy your night. You can hear music.
Yeah, you hear it?
Follow the music. 1 minute away. We're going the right way. Yes, there's human beings walking in.
In another life, some years ago, I worked on a technology and science program called Beyond 2000. Does anyone remember? Yes, good, excellent. You win the prize, sir. Back at a time when, if Nicholas hits that little arrow button and you turn your attention to the screen, I had hair. That's the most remarkable thing about that photograph. And that is essentially what we're talking about tonight. It's a celebration of entrepreneurship. It's a celebration of innovation tonight as well. And it's a celebration of how you can solve problems. It is my great pleasure to welcome to the microphone a gentleman whose premises we stand on this evening. Mr. Chaz, President, who is the CEO of crowdfunding.com.au and founder. Thank you, Chaz, for having us tonight.
As the tallest person here, I was actually encouraged to stand on the stage, but I will genuinely be struck by lightning, so probably for the best. Crowdfunding.com.au is the absolute destination if you want to know where to invest in the latest and most innovative companies in Australia. He came out and he pitched that idea for $1 a share. Turns out that idea was eBay. So those shares today are worth $200 a share. Having worked so closely with Nick and Davide in this journey, they've got a great idea, they're great people. We're absolutely delighted to have them a part of tonight, and part of tonight I would like to invite John to the stage. We're going to present him with our very first ever partner certificate and thank him for all his involvement.
This is what we're talking about. This is where the Gold Coast should be headed, I think. Smart people gathering in beautiful locations like this to talk about the future. I think this could be so much a leading centre in Australia in the next decade, in the next 20 years. In the long term, it could be a Silicon Valley, but for social enterprises as well. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring to the microphone co-founder of Convo with Davide, Mr. Nicholas Reid. All of us here on the Gold Coast want to be able to say, you do not have to travel to San Francisco, you don't have to work in Berlin, you should stay here because there are opportunities for you.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's 1.98 trillion US dollars last year, and it's projected to grow to 4 trillion by 2020. You know, all this AI, artificial intelligence comes along, it's surprising the amount of jobs out there that may go. And the reason why I say that is anything repetitive. There's only one thing that the AI can't do very well at the moment, and that is creative thinking. But if you do anything repetitive that just requires the same thing, yes, you're in trouble. So we believe that the future is individual brands again. People are going to come back to start at home, start business that way, and build it that way. So we want to basically champion that, especially here in Australia. So.
Wonderful. Well, in 10 years' time, we are coming back, and that's when you guys will be worth $14.2 billion. So, and some of it will be our money as well. Thanks very much, Nicholas, and thanks, Davide, as well, and thanks everyone for coming.
Hey guys, just sat at the moment reflecting after 7 days of being on a cruise, and it actually takes a week to sit back, stop, because it's actually in those slow moments where the great ideas come to you.
We are having a day for Daniel, for the Daniel Morgan Foundation. ISR have been lucky to be rallying around, getting all Gold Coast and Brisbane businesses to donate and turn their offices red, and we are going to be leading the way and getting balloons and banners and all dressing in lots of red.
Today they've all decided that we're going to wear red, which represents the colour of the uniform that Daniel was wearing the day he was abducted.
And we've got a red logo that we've customized especially for the day.
See your professional development over the next year, and I'm excited as well.